The past is now only a memory. The present is ever changing. And the future is still to be written. This week in Finland, we play two iconic European courses, both showcasing the beauty and future of our sport. Weeks like these are an opportunity. They are a chance at growing your legacy, proving the doubters wrong, seeing the unexpected, experiencing redemption. A major championship has all this and more. The 2024 European Open starts now.
Hello and welcome to the 2024 European Open presented by Discmania. We are finally over in Finland checking out the European Open, two beautiful courses. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Ella Hansen.
And we are not the two hotkeys. So excited to have Ella in the booth with us across the pond this year. We're going to start out our week at Tampere Disc Golf.
Tampere Disc Golf Center, yeah.
It's a beautiful wooded track. We're going to watch Paige Pierce today. She is 71% fairway hits in 2024 so far. She's 53% Circle 2 in regulation and 75% of the time hitting her Circle 1 X putts.
Next up, we got Eveliina Salonen. Fairway hits 78%. C2 in regulation, 70%. Really hitting the circle in regulation good. And C1X putting 62%. We'll see how she can do today.
You guys know where Kristin Tattar is going to be the third person on our feature card. 79% of the time in 2024, she is hitting the fairway 65% of the time, finding Circle 2 for a birdie and making 79% of her Circle 1 X putts. She's been off for an injury. Can't wait to watch her play.
Last is me. I'm 73% fairway hits, 60% Circle 2 in regulation, 73% C1X putting.
How do you feel about your stats?
Mediocre. Could be better.
And they will not get better on hole 1. This is one of the most brutal starting holes that we see all year long. There's out of bounds all the way down the left-hand side. The right side is rough, and then OB starts right after it. You can attack and try to get past all of that little narrow tunnel area. Most people, though, just going to lay up in the middle and try to play their second shot longer. The OB pinches as you get towards this basket, which is right on the OB on the left-hand side. It's a par 4, but you're honestly happy with a bogey.
Yeah.
Welcome to the European Open 2024. It is your FPO feature card action starting at 9 a.m. here on the Monster Tampere Disc Golf Center. First on the tee, your two-time world champion, sponsored by Latitude 64 from Estonia, Kristin Tattar.
Really happy to see Kristin back out on the big field.
Looking to defend her European Open title and looking to get her first major title of the year. I believe she's going St. Pro there, just pulls it over a little bit right, but that's kind of the miss you want to make. There's OB early left that's
Next
very
on
reachable.
The tee, your 5-time Finnish national champion, sponsored by Innova from Finland, Eveliina Salonen.
One of the best disc throwers in the FPO field. We'll see if she decides to attack over that bush or right down the middle. She's working that left-hand side. That's that OB line that Ella was talking about that is within reach. She gets lucky, though.
Yeah, that looked like if it got through that rough, it could have gone really far. She's definitely attacking this hole.
Sponsored by Discmania from USA, Ella Hansen.
Ella, tell us about your play. What are you trying to do here?
As you can see, I was trying to decide between putter and mid. And I just threw this putter a little flippier just because that's kind of what I was feeling. I'd rather pull it a little right and I do, but
Yeah, I love that play though. And I like that this hole is very much player's choice. You can play it all different ways.
Next on the tee, your 5-time world champion and 3-time European Open champion. Sponsored by Discraft from USA, Paige.
And what a way to start off this tournament. This is the most difficult hole of the day, and that is how you are greeted to the European Open. This is the first year we've played this course at this event. Usually we are over in Nokia at the Beast. This course is nicknamed the Monster. So if you hear us refer it to that.
it will definitely show its monster teeth out here today.
Paige did a great job of putting it right in the fairway. Eveliina's paying even without the OB stroke. Able to pitch out though.
I was just trying to get some distance down the fairway. Didn't really realize that OB came in so close.
Yeah, that pinches in right there. Paige looking down another narrow fairway, not as narrow as off the tee, but you're still thinking about those OB lines on the left and right.
And once you get up towards the basket, the OB is maybe 5-6 meters away from the pin, so you got to be really careful with your approach shot to make sure. Paige is loving it. I think if Eve put that just a little bit higher, she would get herself into putting range.
Kristin going line drive straight at the basket, hoping for it to grab. Sure does, and she's got a long look for a birdie.
I was just trying to pitch up there, caught a little branch, but, you know, gave myself a look for par. Not too shabby on this hole.
Yep, this is pretty common for the third shot. Paige showing us a little chip. If you are able to land it in the middle, that's kind of how the hole plays. Eveliina, I believe, is in circle 2. Oh, maybe just outside. There was only one person that got to circle 2 in regulation. I believe that is this one right here.
Kristin having a good angle there too, kind of going parallel with the OB so she can run that putt without too much worry about what's behind it.
Nobody was able to get to circle 1 in regulation. Ooh, Ella giving it a great bid to save her par.
Yeah, this is a pretty intimidating starting hole.
For sure. Only 37% of the field managed to par it. And this is a pretty small field. This event is really difficult to qualify for. There was only 27 women competing this week. So out of those, only 6 pars. Wait, that's not...
Paige with a little miscue on her first putt, gets it in for the bogey.
This hole averaged at just over a stroke over par. So like we said earlier, getting a bogey on this one doesn't feel terrible. Not a bad way to start off the round. I talked to the course designer and he had like a little twinkle in his eye and he was like, yeah, you just gotta, even if you get a double bogey, you just gotta stay the course. You just gotta keep pushing.
Yep. Definitely one of those holes where it's gonna attack you for the first to start off the round, and you gotta kind of chill out, see what happens, settle in, take what you get, and keep moving on to hole 2, which is a 90-meter. I'm going meters. Par 3. It's playing as a big high spike hyzer. We've got a double level green, beautifully built up, so you really want to give it some height. Hitting any of these little mini fences can kind of roll you out of the circle or out of putting range. We're taking a look at what Missy Gannon did on hole 2.
Yep, we're doing a chase card check-in, if you will, but just one of the other feature cards. Getting a good little roll around. She'll be in circle 2 for birdie. It's great on this hole. There was only 12 competitors that got to circle 2 in regulation.
And that's got to feel good. You can see Missy with that double bogey on hole 1, getting the birdie on hole 2, getting back into it, settling into her round. Nice angle for Kristin. Just outside the bullseye. I believe Eveliina's throwing a Firebird there. A little inside.
Yeah, wrapping that corner is the best thing to do. Tight and high, so you can get over those steps that Ella was talking about.
There is some OB long and right, but it shouldn't come into play a ton. Didn't love that release, Matt, can you tell?
We in the booth love the Ella jump reaction. It's not bad to be on the short side, though, where Ella landed. There are some open gaps, and you can still kind of have a look at a putt. The deep side's a little worse.
Yeah, I would definitely rather be a little more inside than too far wide. I'm just pitching it up, taking my par.
So hole 1 is obviously a very difficult hole. Hole 2, you get to the screen and you're like, oh, okay, this is beautiful.
Absolutely. This is kind of the start of how what you can see of how much work they've done to build up this course, and these manicured and built up greens are not on accident. This is all part of the course design. A lot of interesting features on this course that we will see as we go through.
Kristin with the birdie as well. 3 for 4 is not too shabby. Only 37% of the field got it today. As I'm talking about stats, I realized that not a lot of cards today had, I would say only about half the cards had statisticians walking with them. All the volunteers are out on the course, and because there are multiple spotters on every hole. So many cards don't have stats, so I will stop rattling those off because I think they're a little bit inaccurate this week.
Those birdie percentages are going to be correct, but we're not going to know a ton about circle and in regulation and putting stats and things like that.
Heading to another short par 3. This one is 84 meters, just under 300 feet for those of you learning. This looks like a turnover off the tee. If you've got the distance forehand, it's great as well, but I kind of like a straight fairway or mid and just kind of burn it into the ground and let it skip up on those wood chips. Missy doing a good job of working the left side of the fairway. The main thing you want to make sure you don't do is go early right.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the way the ground is, Missy connecting.
Is that 2 circle 2s in a row?
What a champ. Yeah, back to even par. It's pretty, there's opportunities to do that on this course.
You guys don't know Silva's name yet. You are not paying attention. She has won almost everything over this side of the pond. She's an unbelievable putter. Also throws the disc really well, both forehand and backhand.
Yeah, both of them just playing that kind of straight and skip up kind of shot. You just want to give yourself an opportunity on this hole.
So this hole averaged at a quarter stroke under par, and it's the easiest hole of the day. That tells you about the monster. So it's not a ton of birdies.
And Kristin, just a tiny bit wide, catches that last tree. If she goes inside that, she's going to be parked.
I like the forehand play a lot. It's not a distance that everyone has. It's slightly uphill, so it plays longer than that 84 meters listed.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Look at that spin. A lot of good power for Eveliina. hitting gaps with such confidence no matter what she's throwing.
And that early tree, that birch tree just on the left off the tee pad, it's in your head.
Oh, yeah.
She pushes it.
Paige also going with the backhand buzz. Just a little too much hyzer. But she'd still be putting from over there.
Love the forehand play. What are you throwing here?
I'm doing CD1. Just kind of turned it a little too much. Not so happy.
Another long putt for Ella. Nice layup.
Thank you. This is super awkward stance. I was impressed I even got it up towards the
Nice
basket,
power,
honestly.
honestly.
Thank you.
Kristin from just off the fairway. Not much to look at here on the green.
Paige from like 16, 17 meters.
Oh, come on.
All right, Paige.
Paige, one of only. Oh, yeah, I don't missed it.
Oh, yeah, she called that stay up, and it sure did. Right on the pole.
Paige, one of only 9 birdies on this hole out of 27 competitors.
Eveliina grabs birdie just outside the bullseye.
The greens on this course are absolutely immaculate, every single one of them. Love the wood chips. There's a lot of nice moss everywhere. Beautiful, big, mature trees. I can't say enough good things about how scenic it is here at Tampere Disc Golf Center.
Absolutely beautiful. Through 3 holes, got a lot of ones. 3 1-unders, 1 1-over.
Do you have any projections for what you think is going to be hot out here?
Man, I think double digits is maybe possible.
No way, okay.
Like, you gotta have to play one of the best rounds of your life. Hole 4 is a par 5. Trying to push right to left off the tee, and then we've got a nice curving fairway up to the right. There is OB on the left, but it shouldn't really come into play. And this nice, slightly elevated green, definitely have to play a left to right fading shot up into the green to give yourself a look.
I think it's going to be really important on this course to get birdies on the par 4s and 5s. The 3s are tough. They're very demanding, a little tricky shots, whereas the par 4s and 5s are a little bit more laid out there for you. There's, of course, still every hole's share of difficulties. This one has a really tightly pinched mid fairway. If you don't get off the tee a good distance shot, it can be really tough to get through there and set yourself up for your 3rd shot to the green.
Absolutely. And a lot of these, the 4s and 5s are, you don't want to get too greedy with it.
Yep.
You definitely can bite off a lot of distance off the tee, but
it's not necessarily always required.
Yeah. Saw both Eveliina and Kristin basically hitting that little tree in the middle of the fairway, and I would say that's kind of where you want to aim. I'm not hitting that. I'm hitting another tree.
Where are you?
I was gonna throw a different disc, and then I saw Eveliina throw it really far, and I wanted to do that too, so I flipped it over.
I think this is one of the holes, though, where distance off the tee does actually help.
Sure.
It puts you closer to that pinch point. But if you're to the right side, you have to throw more of a turn, or if you're Kristin and you have this distant sidearm, you can work that as well. It's honestly more of a straight shot than anything. Main thing you want to avoid is that little corner that she skirts through. If you drop down in there, it is basically a pitch out. That's your only option.
And Eveliina got a great drive out there right in the middle of the fairway.
Trying to turn it over.
Just doesn't quite get enough turn. And that's going to be a tough spot for her. I'm not quite sure what she's in back there, but...
Speaking of...
Didn't love that one either.
So this is one of the few holes, there's a few little more open holes like this where the edge of fairway is not friendly. One cool thing about the woods holes here is you do have the opportunity to scramble a lot of times, but these like fir tree areas are absolutely brutal.
Yeah, you kind of get in a tree and it looks a little open, but it's really hard to get a full range of motion to throw a good shot.
We are seeing our feature card in some areas that are not typically found.
Paige actually told me after that shot she was stoked. She thought she threw such a good shot, and she said that was a mispreparation on her part, that she did not realize it was so thick over there.
Kristin playing the hole like you're supposed to on the green in 3.
Yeah, and I think that backhand sidearm for me, that's like my ideal play of the hole. I gotta do a little scrambling.
All right, on the chips.
Feel pretty good about that one.
Oh.
Paige. Where's she going? All right. Yeah, that's a really tough, just behind a wall of trees there.
I wish I could have more insight of where they are, but I did not know people went off the fairway on this hole as much as you guys are doing it.
We're really showing you what's possible, you know, the limits of disc golf.
Yes, let's get a replay on this tomahawk from Eveliina. She looks just as surprised as we are.
It was an awesome shot, giving herself a chance for a birdie from there. That's not a sight you see a ton, a little Paige Pierce sidearm.
Yeah, she brought it out a few years back, but we haven't seen it much in the last couple. Eveliina, what a scramble.
Yeah, that second shot was third shot. No, second shot. I don't know how to count.
Third
shot.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's Ella's first time counting shots on the disc golf course. A nice birdie from Kristin as well. Just mapping out the lines exactly the way you're supposed to. This played in the top 3 easiest holes. This is one that you're kind of not banking on, but really hoping for.
Yeah. First of some of the more scoreable par 4s and 5s.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, hopefully most people have crawled their way out of the hole they created on hole 1. We see some of our feature card players at 2 under, a few other ladies in the field. We go to another par 4. This one, 222 meters. The tee shot is downhill. You kind of throw right at this grouping of corner trees and hyzer out into the field. If you've got a distant sidearm, you could maybe use it there, but it might be just a little bit out of reach. I think most players are going to play that backhand and hopefully push the OB line that's on the left-hand side, setting themselves up for a huge shot down this more open part of the fairway. The basket is well guarded with OB just deep of the green. That can come into play if you come in too hot. Most of the time you're going to be left with the putt, though, with that little wall of trees around the basket.
Yeah, definitely a very challenging hole, very challenging green.
This is not one that I think most of the field is banking on even having a putt. This is one that at least I am playing for par.
Yeah, I definitely think a par feels good on this one.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you'd have to go like roller or something. Your second shot is every bit of 450, 475 to the green?
Especially if you're going with the backhand and getting the fade out, it's going to be upwards of 400 feet.
Kristin, unfortunately, trickling deep into the rough. It's not out of bounds. There is a little area to scramble from in there. I love the forehand play.
It's good when you do it good.
And you are in that, I call it the false fairway. The first time I played here, I thought that was the fairway. And I was like so excited by all of my turnover shots. And then I got there and I was like, oh, what is this dead end?
I am throwing the forehand partially because I feel like that miss is kind of open. As you can see, Paige getting through. There are some gaps in that little tree line there.
Not enough to bank on, but it works.
Yeah.
So Eveliina, a really excellent distance thrower, absolutely crushing and getting just into the middle of the fairway. Oh man, it is rough in there.
Kristin just trying to get some distance out and stay on the fairway. She should be set up for a pretty straightforward forehand into the green.
This is the first place that I felt wind on the course. There's a little bit of a headwind here.
Me too. I also felt that wind.
Wow.
Paige. She's got a little gap there.
Flexing that Paige distance.
And that's what I'm talking about. You can kind of just chip right back out and you're a little
And you've
down the fairway.
You've bit off a good amount of fairway.
Yeah.
Huh. Are you trying to wrap the corner, or is that your play?
I'm trying to wrap the corner,
Okay.
but I know that if my miss is generally going to be to not turn it enough.
Huh. I love that play, honestly.
Yeah. It came from throwing a bad forehand two shot. I was like, oh,
And
wait,
then just going
this
and checking
isn't
it out.
so bad. Beautiful.
Sneaks into that wall of trees.
This
She'll be
is
in
a
the
green where
bullseye.
you kind of want to be on the short side of it, attacking short or left, because if you push it long or too far right, it's super obstructed. Already a ton of trees inside circle one, but it gets way thicker once you get further in.
Really showing off the stances today. Ella Hansen. Oh,
Showing off the hitting the top of the cage from circle two.
Paige showing us what it looks like just to be a little short, but this is for birdie. Nice.
What a sick birdie.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like on this hole, it kind of feels like an eagle almost.
It sure does. This is the third most difficult hole of the day. So, like, there are not even that many pars. Paige, one of only 2 birdies today. Also, shout out to Kona Montgomery for getting it.
Shout out to Kona Montgomery. She had a rough hole one, took a quad, and then birdied the next 4 holes to get back to even. So,
Oh my,
good bounce back, Kona. That's pretty sick.
that's unbelievable. Yeah, only a third of the field were even able to par that. Hole 5.
Tough one. Through 5 holes, Kristin and Eveliina getting to 2 under. Paige has yet to card a par, but sitting at 1 under par, and I just moving up to 2 over. Hole 6, 97 meters. This is one of the first mound holes we're gonna see. This is an intentional mound. There's a lot of different shot options here. You're really just trying to get on the green and stick and give yourself a putt. You're not terrified to run.
This is one of those holes that you're just like, okay, well, whatever happens, happens, which I know you should be like that about every hole, but this one especially, you're like, ah.
Missy throwing it great, and she sticks right there into the hill.
And claims it.
And she's like just outside the bullseye, but still a scary putt. That hill is so steep, it's hard to even just find balance and footing to putt from there.
What a birdie from Missy. Let's watch Silva attack this hole as well.
Also throwing a nice backhand. And that is kind of, you're going for precision. Landing there on the left side is a little bit nice and flat. Giving yourself less of a crazy uphill look. Paige going buzz. And you just talked about feeling that headwind on the previous hole. This is lined up the same, so definitely getting a little bit of wind here. You can see that from Paige's shot.
Yeah, missing to the right side I like because then you have that flat area behind the basket if you decide you want to run it, but missing left is fine as well if you're just planning on laying up.
Yeah, if I'm missing left, I'm absolutely laying it up. Kristin. That is looking so good. And getting to that flat spot, that's honestly, I would say, the ideal drive on this hole.
It's almost just like a regular elevated basket from there. Love the hyzer play.
Yeah, I was kind of having the same thing where I was sort of rolling away all of my straight shots in practice and felt like the spike hyzer gave me a chance to at least stick in the side of the hill.
Yeah, not something that everyone can reach, but I like the idea of being able to just maybe tombstone it into the grass.
And we had a lot of rain last night, so these greens are a little bit softer than they might normally be.
Oh,
Paige from the edge of the circle. I would say, like, in this whole tournament, FPO included, not very many people are running that putt.
No one's running that putt. Are you about to run it?
Yeah, because Paige made it.
You guys are wild. Are you? Okay, you could watch every card play this hole and nobody's doing what you guys just witnessed.
I said thanks, Paige, because
she gave you the motivation.
Yeah, she made me quiver in fear if I didn't run it.
Wow. Are you kidding me right now?
Pretty good.
3 birdies on 1 card. There's only 5 birdies on the day, and we just watched 3 of them. Wow. I'm speechless.
Paige literally asked me, she's like, so are we running this? I was like, I don't know. You go first, I'll see what happens.
You're supposed to run it, Eveliina. Yeah.
Kristin 3 down through 6. We got a few people at 2 down as well. Some big putts to get there. Let's move on to hole 7. It's 180 meters. It's another par 4. This one with a dog leg right. That out of bounds on the right-hand side, you're not that worried about it. It's the OB on the left that you are worried about. If you throw a backhand, you can very easily go long and find that. This is a super placement shot hole. You don't need to go very far. You just need to pitch something straight and then make a decision. If you want to go huge and try to wrap around this corner, risk this out of bounds pond to land on the green, you can. But a lot of players just going to chip up to the corner, play this one for par. Missy going to be pushing that OB line, but she's fine.
Yeah, that's a nice safe shot to throw the backhand.
Missy definitely not attacking. Oh, am I wrong?
I don't know. It might be wrong.
I am wrong.
Oh, just cutting the inside of that corner. And all those trees are OB. I can't tell if she trickled in. It looks like she's safe. And yeah, she got the birdie. I mean, that throwing the backhand definitely gives you a choice to attack or not.
After that soft drive, I thought there was no way she would go for it.
Hey,
love to see it.
We call her Big Money Missy, but I think we might have to
big
call her
distance
Big
Missy.
Arm Missy.
Silva with a much more normal play here, just right in the middle. It is. Missy really went left.
I love the height for Silva. It's you got to put it up high because the water is almost at the bullseye's edge there. You want to give it height and try to spike into the green.
That is a scary putt.
2 great birdies.
Yeah, she just looks like another routine putt. Wow. Some days I forget that I'm watching the best of the best every shot.
Paige going fierce off the tee. Just, casual, straight down the middle.
Not even trying to push that OB line.
Yeah, maybe a little short. Might have to throw a little more of a flex shot to attack the green.
Kristin with the forehand here. I love the forehand play. It lets you trap the corner if you want, shorten that approach to the green.
Yeah, and she threw it right down the middle of that turning fairway. And I yammed on that. Mega
Wow.
yam.
Wow. I didn't even know there was a bog over there.
This is one of those holes where I kind of thought I was throwing the right disc in practice and just wasn't executing it right, and then overthought the shot in the tournament and got that tournament juice.
It's crazy how that can happen on almost every hole out here. It's like you are in between fairway and driver or mid and fairway so often.
Yeah. And that touchiness really matters as well.
Yeah, look at Paige coming in just barely over the water and checking up just before the out of bounds.
And she was just far enough that she could kind of throw just a straight shot and not have to try to flex anything over stable.
Okay, watching everybody go for this is blowing my mind. Most of the field is not doing this.
Oh, and Eveliina skips long. It's kind of, you would almost rather go OB there than in the pond, but either way, it is a tough green to access.
This is a pond that you don't really get discs back from.
No. I was pretty stoked about
That
that
was
one.
so good. What disc is this?
That is a Grojo's die, FD3. And yeah, just trying to throw it nose up and spike it right in there. Worked out pretty good.
Absolutely perfect. And you were blind to the basket there. You're basically just looking at the pond here. No, you can't see the green at all. Just trusting your disc.
Oh. Man, you could hear it hit that wood. It was a foot away from being perfect. So Kristin just tossing up a harp.
So cool to see everybody on our feature card go for the green on their second shot. Love the aggressive play on hole 7. This is in the top half of difficulty. Even though we see everybody going for the green here, there were only 5 birdies in the field. This one is not one that I'm banking on. That is for sure.
Just catching the top of the cage for Paige. And yeah, if you get into that back wall of trees, it can be really tough to have any sort of reasonable putt at the basket.
And what a par save. Ella, nice.
Hey, thanks. That made me happy.
So even though we saw some great play from our feature card competitors, no birdies. We watched Silva and Missy get it, Sarah Hokum, Annalie, Tugas, and
Tugas Maniste, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And Hannah Blomroos getting the birdies as well. Hannah was on my card and she was absolutely parked.
Seems like a henna kind of hole.
Mm-hmm.
So Silva, with that bogey from Kristin, Silva through 7 holes, jumping up into the lead. And we're moving on to hole 8. This is a par 3, 118 meters, just a straight up tunnel shot. We've got a little bit of danger on both sides. You know, you kind of don't want to hit a tree. I know that's shocking, but pretty much either side trees you hit, you're going to be scrambling.
On the left side of the fairway, between the tree line, there is a little ditch that's full of water that can make for some interesting footing. Oh no, that is a big and very early kick. Paige gonna have some interesting approaching to the rest of the hole.
Yeah.
So
Not
this
quite
whole,
as early as Paige, but
this hole being over 100 meters, I mean, it's an absolute crush. It's the same tee pad as the MPO field, and one where you have to make a decision how big you want to go. If you're more comfortable throwing fairways or mids that day, I think you should just do it. It's not one that necessarily, even with a distance driver, that everyone's going to get all the way to the green. You can see Kristin with a great shot kind of trickling off in circle 2 land.
Yeah, and Eveliina turning it over just a little bit. This is a really tough one because she doesn't like it too much. But you really have to throw your angle perfect. It's so hard to throw a straight shot in disc golf, as I'm sure we all know.
What a nice recovery shot, though. Ella, that was sweet.
Thanks.
Kind of burned a little bit, but putting. Paige eyeing up a side quest fairway.
Oof.
Not having a lot of luck over there.
Yeah.
She just looks like she's gallivanting through the forest.
And actually, I take back what I said. There is a little bit more opening on the right once you get further down the fairway, maybe within like 30 meters, 100 feet, but it's still not open.
Paige still looking at the sky.
And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Paige, there's a little bit more of a fairway on the right side.
Making a catch cam dance. And Paige is on the green, putting for bogey.
Putting for
Double,
double
sorry.
bogey, I think, yeah. And Eveliina also taking that right side sneaky fairway. Almost threw it in. That's an awesome forehand from her.
I bet as this hits front cage.
How about airball?
Oh,
I was like, all right, give it a little more height.
definitely
And my
don't
brain
miss.
said, how about nose up?
Kristin sneaking through the trees. There was only one birdie on this hole today. Cat Merch was able to get it. I wonder what kind of crazy hyzer flip she threw.
I bet she's throwing that Thunderbird she throws all the time.
The fleshy one.
Yep. Fleshy one?
That's what she calls it.
That checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I play with her and she throws that, I get Silver Thunderbird by Mark Cohn stuck in my head. Eveliina, awesome scramble par there. Well done.
This is one of those holes that seems like you should be able to at least scramble a par out of it, but it ends up it can be one of the ones that does bite you. We see Paige dealing with that double bogey here.
I think this is like, I feel like I was talking about this. I think it's an ideal width for a tunnel shot. There's enough room to kind of play a little left to right, but you definitely need to hit the gap in order to give yourself a look.
Love watching Eveliina full send.
I don't know for sure, but she's probably throwing it either a destroyer or a Thunderbird through that gap.
Moving on to the final hole of our front nine. This is an interesting horseshoe-shaped hole. It is 107 meters, but very reachable by everyone in the field. It's kind of a poke and hope, but I don't want to say that because it is a pure shot, but there are some fairway trees scattered around that are in the line that you're trying to take. You really got to go high and a forced turn with even something maybe flippy so that it holds and glides out to the green. You won't want to push a little bit deeper than you think because coming in early is brutal. Silva doing a great job here. Oh, some tree love as well.
Nice parked birdie.
Things you want to avoid here is going early right. It can be brutal over there. Sometimes you can be in circle 2 and not even have a way to get out.
I'm a little surprised to see Kristin going sidearm here. We know she loves her sidearm and she has a lot of power with it, but it definitely, to me, as somebody who likes to throw sidearms, feels like it's a backhand hole. But
I feel like maybe this, in practice, you can get there. Everyone can get there, but it's kind of a low percentage shot, and maybe there's so much trouble that you can get into, it's not worth going for it. I kind of like the idea of some of these holes at the Monster, and even at the Beast as well, the other course we play. There's some holes where you just like pick your poison. Like, this is not one I'm gonna attack fully.
you said I shouldn't throw it inside, Mad?
And you are in the mosquito pit.
Yeah, that was bad. If you didn't if you couldn't tell.
You just have some work left to do.
Just some.
Paige,
Paige going sole.
wow. I have never seen anyone throw a line like that. I feel like most people are going really high and kind of
Yeah.
force turned. That was beautiful.
Super awesome control from Paige there.
Man, you do not have much to work with back there.
Yeah, and it got in a pretty tough spot. But honestly, it could have gone further into the woods, so I'll take it.
What a great recovery shot. This is one of those courses where you just have to never give up.
Yeah.
As it continues to get worse and worse and your lies are crazier and crazier, you're just like, next shot. This is this.
Next shot. Yeah.
Next shot.
And you can tell that this course has like been intentionally built as a disc golf course too, because even if you get off the fairway on a lot of these holes, you still have something. It might not be a big gap, might be a really hard shot, but you still have something.
Yeah, that's what I like about the woods holes out here. They're perfect because you are always able to scramble. You don't necessarily have to just pitch out. Paige with a nice little comeback putt there for par.
Eveliina just a couple steps outside the bullseye. Oh. Tough one for Eve.
Yeah, there were
Such a
only
good drive.
there were only 2 birdies on this hole today. We watched Silva get it and Kona Montgomery, the only other one.
Yeah, this hole is averaging 3.3, so maybe Kristin is just playing, trying to get around the corner, give herself maybe a long birdie look, and take the par.
Yeah,
if she gets it.
63% of the field with the par, so not one that you're maybe trying to gain strokes on the field. That wraps up the front 9. We've got 3-way tie for the lead right now at 2 under, and I kind of thought that this course would play around even par
Yeah.
to be in the top 10. I thought that
Sure.
was going to be, but you're calling out double digits earlier.
I don't know. It's possible.
It is there.
You got to play the round of your life, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being under par on this course feels really good no matter where you're at.
Definitely. We were supposed to have some weather in the back 9, but it held off in the front. Let's come hang out with us on the back 9 of the first round of 4 of the European Open and see if the weather holds up at this beautiful disc golf course, Tampere Disc Golf Center, aka The Monster. We love to be here. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Ella Hansen. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, see you guys on the back.